Hey, it's Dielawn again, and this is the content you are looking for. Today I'm putting my fine art skills to the test like my mother before me to make a diorama of the entrance of the Mos Eisley Cantina in Star Wars to fit my 3.75-inch Star Wars action dolls. I made a rough mock-up of the design first in Adobe Illustrator, printed it out, and taped that honey to some half-inch styrofoam. This is my first time creating something like this, so unlike the high school bullies and my oldest niece, please go easy on me. I'm just trying to make my way in the universe. First, I cut out the main arch for the doorway. I used a hobby utility knife like a chump, and hopefully next time I can use a hot wire cutter. Using the same template, I cut out the recessed area where the door will eventually be placed. You'll see soon that I goof hard with that door, but that's okay. Using the world's smallest glue gun, I adhered the layers for the entrance facade. I know I need better tools, but I already spent all my money on the dolls. Looking back, I realized I could have skipped this step, but there's something incredibly soothing about cutting, folding, and snapping styrene sheets. Adam Savage knows what I'm talking about. I gave Babu Frick back his cutting mat, so in future videos you'll see I have an adult-sized cutting board. I'm a normal-sized human. I have a bad feeling about this. The next section I really screwed up, but you'll see shortly that I fixed it. I'm still learning. I ripped the whole f***ing thing out. As I do more of these videos, I hope to have less time lapses, but for now I think this works, especially with this damn door. This took longer than any other part of the video. Totally worth it. I want to give a shout out to Boylai Hobby Time, Bill Making Stuff, Studson Studios, and Luke Towan for the inspiration to finally get working on this type of project. You can find their links in the description of this video, and I highly recommend checking out their channels. Remember when I said I was going to rip the whole f***ing thing out? After the whole gutting, the damn thing fits. Just ask your mom. Later on, I'm going to add in a light from Dollar Tree for the entrance sign, but for now, I'm going to make some goop out of plaster, Mod Podge, and acrylic paint. Might have done it wrong, but again, I'm still learning. I did a nice thick coat and basically just frosted it like a cake, and I dig the outcome. Now that the goop is drying, I noticed I needed to bring my Dremel tool in and sand down some edges. Always wear a mask when doing this, and I highly recommend glasses as well. Pieces flew everywhere. I spent about $25 total on the supplies at Hobby Lobby, and I'm hoping to upgrade everything down the line. But for now, everything's doing the trick. Next, I wanted to add some sheet styrene around the actual doorway. Again, not sure why I wasted the time. I went and made a ton of equidistant notches so the styrene would have some texture to it, but also so it could fit and adhere to the rounded corners easier. I had a lot of goop left, which worked out because the styrene created a small lip around the doorway. I also picked up some sand from Hobby Lobby. Instead of the free sand that's in my backyard, I paid $4 for a small bag of it. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. I found the lack of battery-powered lights at Dollar Tree disturbing, so this dink was my only hope. Inside his butt was a perfect light to illuminate the enter sign of the cantina. Using a plastic folder from Dollar Tree, I cut out a rectangle to fit over the enter sign of the cantina. I didn't show a bit of this process because I redid it a few times, and if there's anything Star Wars fans hate, it's continuity errors and plot holes. To the left of the door, there's a small panel with buttons that look a lot like elevator buttons. I picked up some off-brand Lego, cut them, glued them, lived, laughed, loved. Before priming my piece, I sprayed a mixture of water and Mod Podge to the sand to stick better to the base. Because sand is coarse and rough and irritating and it gets everywhere, remember? An upcoming video I plan to release is the creation of a 3.75-inch custom Finn action figure based on Star Wars Episode 10 theory I discussed on my Star Wars podcast, The Key to All of This. This is the gray. With this pup primed and ready to go, I went over this piece in a sand-colored acrylic paint to be the base coat. This is where it really started to come together for me. I did the base coat on the door too, but that's just because I squirted too much paint out. Not sure if you believe this, but that color red matches almost perfectly, and I didn't have to mix it. I filled in the interior of the enter sign with paint as well to make sure there wasn't any white showing. In less than a second, I taped up the door and the surrounding area, leaving about 1/8 of an inch for the molding of the doorway. I loved the color so much that I went over the remainder of the piece with what I had left to dry brush. Then filled in the little Darth elevator buttons and dry brushed that up. At this time, I want to thank everyone who's checked this out and say welcome to any new visitors to my channel. I love to create artwork, and I hope you're loving this as well. I had a lot of paint left over, but I also think adding my dry brushing made the entire piece pop even more. Did you notice the new cutting mat? Told you I got a new one. I painted the path to the cantina. The path leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. This entrance sign isn't screen accurate, but with the materials I had and how I wanted it all to end up looking, I love the outcome. And just like that, Chewie, we're home. In the comments below, please let me know your favorite Star Wars quote. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll check out some other content that I've created.